everyone, it's Miss Gwen from Shades of Development, out of school time at Mount Olive. And if you joined me earlier in the week, I showed you how to make a paper craft using a paper plate, and we made a snake. And today I'm going to show you how to make a different kind of snake using some supplies you might have at home using a toilet paper roll. What you'll need for this activity is an empty toilet paper roll. You will need some googly eyes. You'll need a pair of scissors. You will need some glue, a paintbrush, a little scrap of red construction paper so that we can make the tongue. You'll need some paper towels so that you can clean your paintbrush in between colors, a cup of water in order to clean your paintbrush, and then some paint of the colors of what a snake might be. So I'm going to use green and black today. If you have brown, yellow, things like that, you could use those colors as well. So in order to get started, I am going to prepare my paint surface with a piece of wax paper. This just keeps the area that I'm working on clean, and it's easy to dispose of when I'm finished. And I'm going to show you how to make a snake using a toilet paper roll. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint the toilet paper roll the base color, and I'm going to choose green for this. I'm going to slather on the paint kind of thick because it's going to absorb into the toilet paper roll, because the toilet paper roll is made out of thick paper. So it's a porous surface and it is absorbent. So you can see it's kind of just soaking up that paint. It's just really soaking it in there. So I'm going to put a thick layer of paint on the toilet paper roll on all sides. It's probably best if you hold it at the top so that you don't get paint all over your fingers, but I've done this a few times now and I managed to get paint on me no matter how I hold it. So you just find the way that works best for you. And we're going to finish up this back side here with the green paint. The next color that we use is black, and you want to make sure that you clean your paintbrush really well between the colors, because otherwise it will become really muddy on your project and you will ruin your paint for the next time you want to do that. So I am finished painting the base coat of the green on. I'm just going to double check real quick to make sure I've got all the sides covered in a nice green. And now I'm going to rinse my paintbrush just with my cup of water. I'm going to dab my paintbrush in there until it looks like it's clean, and then use a clean paper towel just to dry it off, because this is regular craft paint, like poster board paint, so you don't want to have too much water mixed into it. It becomes very soupy if you've got too much water. The next color I'm going to use is going to be black, and I'm going to kind of just dab the tip of my paintbrush in. I'm not going to coat the entire toilet paper roll. Now I'm going to use kind of a dabbing technique. So just with a little bit of paint on the tip, I'm just going to dab all over the toilet paper roll. This is to give my snake some dimension, make it look like he's got little scales. I'm not trying to cover him in black like I did with the green. I'm just trying to give him some distinct markings. I'm going to camouflage him a little bit so that he would blend into his natural habitat a bit better. So I'm going to dab the paint all the way around the outside edge. About like this, and give him some scales on all sides of his little body, because when we cut this you'll be able to see all sides of it. So you want to make sure that you've got all sides covered in green, all sides covered in the black scales, or if you're using a brown, you could use brown scales. If you wanted to do a color combination between the brown and the green to give him a little camouflage, you could do that as well. So now that I've got my snake body made, it is covered in green paint with black all the way around, kind of dabbed on to make it look similar to camouflage, like his scales might look. I'm going to clean my fingers because I've got paint all over me. The next thing that I'm going to do is pick out some googly eyes. This is my little container of googly eyes I've just got on hand. I'm going to pick out 2 medium-sized ones. Don't want them too large or too small. I'm going to use my red construction paper, and this is just scrap paper, so I'm going to cut off a little strip because we don't need much. And I'm going to use this little strip to make a tongue. So the tongue's going to be a little wavy. I'm just going to make a wavy cut on one side of the red construction paper. I'm going to curve it up at the top. That's going to help me up in a minute when I get ready to make the tongue. Fork. And then I'm going to curve this same little tongue, making my little skinny tongue down the other side. And I want to leave a space wide enough at the bottom to glue the tongue to the toilet paper. So you can see it's a little wider at the bottom, and I left it a little wider at the top, and I'm going to use this top part and I'm going to give him a forked tongue. So in order to do that, I'm going to cut out a V shape at the top, just like that, and then you can see that I've given my snake a little forked tongue. Now then, you're going to want to wait for this to dry before you start cutting. And that's going to take a little bit longer because the surface is absorbing the paint right now than what it would if it was something that was more solid. So I'm going to use a toilet paper roll that I have already painted and that is dry or mostly dry. And I'm going to cut the body of the snake. I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut in a skinny little spiral all the way around the toilet paper roll. If I make it too fat, his body's not going to come out right. It's going to be the wrong shape. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to make a cut that is kind of diagonal, and then we're going to follow and make a small spiral by cutting all the way around the toilet paper roll in a circular motion. You don't want your spiral to get too thick. You're kind of trying to make a spring out of his body. If you make it too thick, then it's not going to have the effect of looking like a body when we put the head on it. And you're going to cut in a spiral all the way around. So you should have something that's kind of springy like this. You can see how that's already starting to look like a snake. What I'm going to do is take the top part of my snake where I just cut off towards the edge of the toilet paper roll, and I'm going to go ahead and round that off. And then just throw away that extra little piece. So I've just cut off a little section off of the top to make his face rounder by cutting off the point from where I had cut to the edge of the toilet paper roll. So now that he's got a little round face, I'm going to use my scissors and kind of give him a little bit more of a shape. And in order to do that, I'm going to cut in on both sides, but not all the way. And then curve my scissors to cut back out. And this gives him kind of a boxy head. So I've cut in just part way and then turned and cut back out. And this gives my snake a head that's more distinct than just rounding it before. So you can see where I've cut out a little bit right here and a little bit right here. The next thing that I'm going to do for my snake is I'm going to use my glue. This is just regular Elmer's glue. Glue stick would probably work, but it's going to take longer for it to dry. And it might not stick as well as regular Elmer's glue. So I'm just going to use my regular Elmer's glue, and I am going to do just a dot, not a lot, of glue for the googly eyes. And I'm going to put those googly eyes right there on top. Stick it down in the glue and smush it down a little bit. And I am going to put just a dot of glue on the tip of the tongue. And I'm going to glue this to the underside of my snake. Hold it there for just a minute. And there you can see that I have made a snake out of a toilet paper roll using supplies that I have at home. So I've got my snake toilet paper roll using just regular craft paint, some googly eyes, and construction paper. And I think this is really cute and a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy making it. Be sure to follow Shades of Development on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching.